changed spots from where we were last night. And we came back out to hunt these other bucks, and we just got up on the point. It took a while, but we got one glassed up. His head's in the tree, but he's a big buck. I can tell he's a good deer, big-bodied deer. We're not sure what buck it is yet. He's about 500 yards, 450 yards below us, so we're just going to watch him and see if he's a shooter and if there's a play on him. I hope it's our big buck, but I can't tell yet. We saw what he is, and he's a deer we've never seen before. He's a stag. He's got one big 2-point side and then one like really long spike side with a little fork on the top. Just a weird looking deer, and not something that I'm interested in shooting. But he's like pretty big deer actually. It's just weird. I can see his antlers. He's still in full velvet. He had me excited, that sucker. I thought it was going to be our big buck, but I guess we go back to looking. Good morning. So, we're back out here again looking for this same buck. He showed up on camera 2 days ago at 9 a.m. So we're on the ridge glassing where we think he came from, or maybe headed. I don't know what else to tell you besides that. We had a spike, that same big spike by dude, like big old gnarly looking dude point. I had him last night at 350 yards. Not ready to shoot that deer. This is like one of those places that makes you just bang your head against the wall, because most days you won't see a deer out here. But if you do, it's usually a good one. So we're back at it again. We're just glassing. Rocky. Hope he shows up today. Update. We saw about 6 deer walk by down to one of these lower ridges. One like 3-point and a 2-point and some does, but no sign of El Big Muchacho. Don't get mad at me for saying something in Spanish. Anyway, we're just gonna give it about another hour here and see what shows up, and then we'll try her again tonight. This is Tuesday. This is now day, well, the muzzleloader hunt's been going for almost a week. It's been going for 6 days, and this is day 4, trying to kill the big buck with the extra. You add to that about the 15 days I hunted him on the archery, and it is starting to add up. We are now like almost 20 days into this deer, and he is winning. We have never laid eyes on him, so I'm starting to go a little bit crazy and feel like this might be a huge waste of time. But if we can get this deer, it'll be worth it. He'd be the biggest deer I've ever killed. So it's 5:30 a.m. I'm running a little late, but if I go fast, I can get to where he's at right by daylight. Basically, the story of this deer is he shows up about every 3 days on water, and he likes to come in mid-morning, like 9 a.m., 8:30, 9 a.m. And he doesn't really like spend any time. He just pops in, he gets a quick drink, and he pops out, and that is it. And we've been up glassing above him, trying to see him coming to and from the water or going to his bedding area, but he likes to travel this really, really deep wash, and we have never laid eyes on these deer with just trail cameras. So today I'm gonna go sit like 50 yards above the water and just hope that today is the day he shows up. He hasn't been there for 3 days, so he's about due to walk through. And if he shows up, maybe there's a short window to get a shot, but it's a long shot. But I don't know what else to do. I've tried to glass him every single day, and I don't know what else to do. So we're gonna go try this. But first, I'm gonna get a monster, and then I'm gonna get on the road. Well, it's about 10, and no deer, no big buck. So I'm gonna go up and see and look at this hill behind me, see if there's a spot like 100 or 200 yards away from the water that I can sit. I don't think that there is. It's so thick in here, that's why it's so hard to find this buck. But he always is kind of active around this time of day, mid-morning, but we've never been able to get eyes on him. I have 3 more days of muzzleloader season, and then the early rifle season and the late rifle season that I can hunt him in. So maybe between all those days he'll slip up once. They don't get big for being dumb.
Okay, we interrupt the boredom of my hunt to bring you some footage from Troy. Troy stayed up in our original hunting spot. He hunted hard for a few days and he found this amazing buck. He had the big zoom camera with him and was able to get this incredible footage of this buck that had been pushed out of the canyon. So enjoy this big buck and tell me if you would have shot this deer or not. Kind of a trick question because I think we all would have shot this buck. Troy would have shot him too, but the deer was about 450 yards away, out of range of the muzzleloader. So he just filmed him and let him walk away, but sweet buck. Troy also got this killer footage of these coyotes up there catching mice and moles in the grass. I'm glad that he carries that camera around everywhere he goes so that my videos can be better. Thanks, Troy, for the cool footage.
Well, folks, it is September the 30th. I'm up here glassing. It's been light for a couple hours and I have not seen a deer. And I'm really starting to question not only my sanity, but my life choices. Like, what in the world brought me to the point in my life where I'll look for deer for like 6 days in a row without even seeing the buck I'm trying to kill. It's fun. It's better than working. It's fun. But anyway, that's what it's like today. I hiked up to this glassing point, like way higher than my other glassing point. I have a different angle and a different vantage point on everything. Not even a deer.
Hey guys, so I am on a bit of a overnight run. I'm sweaty, it's hot. I'm glassing the same general area that I have been, but I'm looking at it from the other side. And I got up here and I think I got a shed spotted. I do have Troy's big zoom camera that he gave me. And I'm gonna zoom in with it over there and see if it's an antler or not. It looks like it from here. And it looks like a decent one, but we'll be able to tell because this camera has all the zoom. All the zoom. Check this out. Bam. That's a bingo. 100%er. Nice. Don't know if I'll get over there to get it tonight or not, but looks like a good one. Sweet. Wonder if it's off one of these deer that we know. Well, you guys know me. I couldn't let it lay. Over here. And it's a good horn. Big old 2-point. This is one of the genes that we see over here. Over and over again out here. It's a little fresher than that. Fine one. Let's put glass off the back now, see what's off here. Well, I'll set up in glass here, and then if anything else exciting happens, I do have the big zoom, so hopefully we'll get some video of some deer tonight if they show up. So it's a good thing to walk up to in a new spot. As you can see, I'm dripping. So I jumped 2 big bucks, and I was pretty sure that one of them was a buck I'm here to kill. Big wide deer. I got over to the ridge they were on, looked off, and they were down at the bottom looking back up at me. I ranged them at 236 yards. Dialed the scope, got on the gun. I was watching them through the scope, and the buck that I thought was the buck I'm here to kill turned, and he's a 3-point, 27, 28 inches wide, heavy, and I'm like, man, it's a deer that we've known about, we've had on trail camera. Not a deer I want to kill on this tag. And the other buck had a big 4-point size. I thought, oh, maybe that's the deer. And I got on him in the scope. Everything looked good. His mass was good. And he walked out, and he's a 4x3. He's the other buck that usually runs with the deer we're trying to kill. I sat there and looked at him back and forth. I was going to shoot the 4x3, and then I'm like, nah, I want that big buck. I want that big buck. So I let him walk, and they came around the hill, and I don't know where they went after that, but it happened so fast. There's no way I could have got my camera out and got it on him. These things are so smart. But I could have killed right there. I just wasn't ready to shoot either one of those deer. Man, awesome to see something though, and to see some good bucks. Wish I could have got some video.
So I got up the next morning and I glassed this buck up right as the sun was coming up. I had to kill the audio because the wind was blowing so hard. It was just absolutely ear-shattering wind noise. But I knew right away he was big and wide, and I thought he might be the wide buck that we were there to kill. And so I immediately started trying to put together a game plan on how to get over there and get this deer killed. Right here he turned and walked down the hill, and I realized it wasn't the wide buck that I was there to kill, but I knew it was a big deer, had some big forks, and he splayed out really wide and crazy, and so I still wanted to shoot this buck. At the point I was taking this video, he was 1,300 yards away and going to bed pretty quickly, so I pretty much had to ditch my camera and my stuff and make a big run on him as fast as I could. Right here he stops in the open, and I noticed his antlers flared out really weird, and I don't know what he had going on, but he was definitely a big mature deer and one that I wanted to try to kill, so I dropped everything and ran. I set up the camera here and got all my stuff ready, and I never saw the deer walk down the hill right here. I thought that he had stayed in that cedar tree, and so when I made my approach over there, I used those cedar trees as a marker, and I think what happened was he walked out of the trees and down the canyon, and I thought he was probably bedded or stopped feeding right there, so I came out way too high from where he was. I got over there but never did see the buck and never could locate him. I ran out of time because I had to go home and meet my wife for a lunch date, so I hurried back to town and came back to hunt him for the final evening of the muzzleloader.
Alright, back out here again on the glass for one final try. This is the last evening of the muzzleloader hunt, so I'd love to get a crack at it. There's now 2 bucks out here I would definitely shoot. That buck from this morning, and then that buck that I'm obviously been chasing. So I went home and I pulled up that deer on the computer, got a little bit better look at him. He's a deer I've never seen before, but he is a freaking stomper. He's a giant 3x4 like everything else out here. Almost everything else out here. But I'm gonna just post up where I saw him and try to glass him up in time to put a move on him, while also watching the ridges behind me where the big buck has been showing up. So this is it. This is our chance. Hope we can get it done tonight. If not, though, I have a dedicated hunter tag. In Utah, that means that you can only shoot 2 deer every 3 years. And so, but you can also hunt all the season. So I still have an early rifle tag and a late rifle tag to try this deer on. So I think I've already explained that in this video. But anyway, that's the rundown for tonight. Let's see if he shows up. I got old Papa Big Zoom here, so if he shows up, I should be able to get video. Last day of muzzleloader. It is winding down on us. Winding down.
Alright, so I'm here cutting this video. Man, you guys, this was one of the biggest grinds I've done in a long time. I spent almost the whole muzzleloader hunt trying to find that one deer, never laid eyes on him, had some exciting moments, but it was fun. And now on to the early rifle. That starts here day after tomorrow, so we will be back chasing these same deer through the early rifle hunt. But I do need to thank some people who bought apparel. I do still have that sale going on, and it'll go until probably Sunday. So if you guys are interested in getting some, go get it. Use code Shedcrazy. Alright, I need to thank John Thomas. Thank you, John, for a good size order. Tony Addard, thank you, Tony, very much. Kyle Hostler, again, dude, another big order. Thank you, buddy. Randon Pollock, thank you, Randon. Dakota Ducharme, I think is how you say that. Thank you, Dakota. Logan Lefevre, good over to homeboy. Thanks, Logan, appreciate it. And Josh Rodemeyer, thank you guys very much for getting those orders in today, and I think that we'll have some more at the end of the next video. But I appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you following along with what I'm doing and supporting it, and I will see you on the next one.